today's video, we will do a lab wherein we look at network biology concepts and how do you build graphs in MATLAB using the Boost graph library, how do you analyze for example computing clustering coefficients or shortest paths and so on. And in particular we will see how do you assemble a regular lattice, right, essentially how do you build the adjacency matrix for a regular lattice and how do you rewire it, right, so that you can study various changes that happen to a network post rewiring. So today let us look at how do we work with graphs using MATLAB. There is this toolbox called MATLAB BGL which I hope most of you have already installed, right. So one useful MATLAB command that I did not show the other day is this help cd. It gives you a brief help about every single file in a particular folder. Yeah. So this gives you all the different pieces of code that are there in the MATLAB Boost Graph library. The Boost Graph library is actually a very powerful library for C++, and in this package it essentially calls the Boost Graph library which is C++ based. So you will see that the algorithms here run really fast, and so you have breadth first search, depth first search, A star search and so on. You have shortest paths, all shortest paths. These are some of the more useful algorithms that we need to keep accessing from time to time. And then finding connected components in a graph. Then of course between centrality, clustering coefficients and so on. And you can also create different kinds of graphs. So this lists all the different the contents folder, the contents M file actually gives you all this information, and this as you will see is a pretty old package, but still remains a very useful and very powerful package for working with graphs in MATLAB. MATLAB has a number of built-in tools today, but I think the Boost Graph library is still faster and more effective. So today can we work on creating a regular lattice, start rewiring it with some probability and compute how different parameters change. That is something we can try and work with. Looks right, it's maybe too big to see. This looks fine to me. How many neighbors should be there? 30 and 5. What is the degree of each node? 2 into 5. K on either side? 10. So 30 into 5, 30 into 10, 300. That's what you see here. 300 non-zeros. No graph object, just create an adjacency matrix. There is nothing called a graph in MATLAB BGL. In MATLAB you have graph objects. In MATLAB BGL, every piece of code requires a sparse adjacency matrix as input. So in fact, I should be saying okay, what was the clustering coefficient formula we said yesterday? 3k minus 3 by 4k minus 2, right? So if k is 5, 12 by 18. Two by 3, or if you want, yeah. How does the degree distribution look like?
A delta function. Yeah.
Yeah. A spike at 10. All the 100 nodes have a degree of 10.
So how do you get 0.67?
I use the clustering coefficients built in MATLAB BGL. Mod.
Mod of this.
Mod. I thought you saw my code.
Huh?
I thought you saw my code as I typed it. I used mod, MOD.
graphics package, all the graph info, corresponding to given answers.
Yeah, I think there's something. Let me find that out. But this actually uses MATLAB's built-in layout, MATLAB's built-in graph command, graph objects. This still seems somewhat regular, right? You can see that, but if you had a nice circular layout, it would have looked nicer. So what does this look like?
Not small, rewired.
Some rewiring, right? So order is mostly maintained, but plus that you have some rewiring. But it clearly looks like the rewiring I've done is a little wrong because the number of zeros has changed. It should be some round number, right? It should have been like 1000 because this is a 100,5 lattice. First argument is all my neighbors, right? So if I'm 0, my neighbors will be minus 1, minus 2, minus k, 1, 2, k. But it's not minus 1.
Oh, your
So I add,
on each side.
huh?
Your K is neighbors on each
On each side.
Okay, so
Why have you added 1 to the mod?
It's just easy to think of it, right? Oh, okay.
my K is total.
Okay, it's total k. Still, it's only k on each side, no? That's how we define a regular lattice. So if it is 5 nearest neighbors, you take 2 on each side, and the third, there are 2 equally close neighbors. Which one would you pick? The fifth one. So instead, you basically take it as k on either side. That's the straightforward way to. You can pass an array as argument to anything in MATLAB. Yeah. Because in MATLAB, everything is a matrix. So you can pass an.
When we are a
Why are you adding every time? 1.
Yeah, why are you adding 1 to the mod?
Because I'm unnecessarily removing a 1.
why remember?
Because to do the 0 offset.
I
So-
think
You're anyway doing mod and then you can just do
Right, no. So let's look at this. So if you scroll really up, you will find my. Okay, I think I've cleared it out. But right. So I need to do u minus k. So let's say 10 minus 3 colon. Sorry, let's say u is 1. 1 minus 3 colon minus 1 and 2 colon 2 plus 3. Right? This should be for node number 1, these are the neighbors, agreed? If I have 3 neighbors on either side. Right. Is the sorry, to 0. Yeah, is this correct? Minus 2, minus 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's nothing called 0 in MATLAB, right? 2, 3, sorry. So this is 1 colon plus 3. Yeah, is that right? Minus 2, minus 1, 0, 2, 3, 4. Right? But then if I do mod of ans comma 10, I'll get 890234, which is perfect if you were in Python. Right? Because your nodes are going to be numbered 0 to 9. There is no 10th node. Right? So instead what you do is you do minus 1. This gives you, and then you do mod of this comma 10 plus 1.
Oh, in Python, even though I numbered my nodes from 1, I
Exact.
put an if-else statement and said if I plus this thing is not equal to 1. So if the mod is 0, it will take
A simpler, a boring and simpler way to do this would be to run another for loop and basically compute if abs I minus absolute value of I minus k less than k, I minus u less than k, then connect it.
That's what I did, then I commented it out. But
but this would be the easiest way to do it. And I think you can make it even better. I think you may be able to avoid this loop altogether. So the mod calculation will now be correct.
ಇಷ್ಟು ಚಿಕನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೊಂದಿಕೋ এখানে মাইনাস
I'm still having an unspottable bug in the rewiring. So you should try rewiring at home. Well, so if you finish rewiring at home, we should be able to do it. Because if you finish rewiring, what you can do is we can compute characteristic path length, we can compute all of that, and yeah. So I hope you had a good introduction to MATLAB Boost Graph library in today's video. I must emphasize here that MATLAB has since developed many graph functions which are inherently available in MATLAB, but I still like Boost Graph library because it interfaces with C and it's still very fast and works well even today. And I hope you can go back home and try out how to build a regular lattice, rewire them and so on at home. In the next video, we will look at network parameters, network models, communities and motifs, and essentially recap network biology.